Your mother has probably told you you can do anything in life that you set your mind to, right? Well, I hate to break it to you, but there's one thing you can't do. Now, don't worry, you're not alone. It's not just you, it's all humans together. The one thing I'm talking about today is cutting things. Us humans, they come with opposable thumbs, so it makes us very good at grabbing, pushing, and pulling things. But this one thing I'm talking about, cutting things, is something that humans can't do without the aid of a tool. Now, sure, you can cut open some small little tape with your fingernail, but we all know how frustrating that can be with the mess that it leaves on your fingernail, and a lot of times it doesn't work. I'll explain to you the history of knives, what the benefits to carrying a knife are, everyday tasks that a knife would come handy for, and why I personally choose to carry a knife with me every day and everywhere that I go. Now, pocket knives and knives in general are no new invention. With information gathered from coolmaterial.com, I discovered that the first pocket knife dates back to 600 to 500 BC. This knife was dug up in Hollingsworth, Austria. It was of a simple design with a single blade and a bone handle. Now, knives in general, they were prehistoric in time, but this is a fixed blade knife that I'm talking about, and today my speech will be focused around pocket knives. Now, you might be asking yourself, what's the difference between a pocket knife and just a regular fixed blade knife? Well, let me show you. This here is one of my favorite knives that I carry the most. I own many, but this is the one that I carry the most. And it would be considered a pocket knife because it has the ability to fold itself into its handle and be stored in my pocket easy. And it also has a clip. So that way it clips to the outside of my pocket and it's always in the same place, and I can always grab it quickly whenever I need to. There are many different uses of a pocket knife, which include cutting tags off clothing, unwanted threads off clothing, and opening packages. Even KnifeDepot.com lists 101 more common uses of a pocket knife than the ones that I just listed. Now, sure, everybody can think of the basics like what I just listed, but let's say, for a scenario, you take a hike in a public forest. You are feeling adventurous, so you take a couple steps off the beaten path. You find yourself turned around and realize that you are lost. And trust me when I say this, that's an easy thing to do when you're out in unfamiliar woods. Of course, it's getting dark, and that means it's getting cold outside. And you're better off, besides wandering through the woods all night, you're better just to stay put and try and build a simple shelter and get a fire going to keep yourself warm throughout the night. Now, you don't have much on you, but you do have a good pocket knife. And with this pocket knife, you'll have the ability to process wood from grooving out branches to making a lean-to, maybe cutting some twine to act as rope and fasten the lean-to together, so you can just have something to protect you from the elements throughout the night. But most importantly, you can use your pocket knife to get a fire going. You can even take your pocket knife to scrape, if things are damp on the ground, you can use your pocket knife to scrape wood and get to dry wood to create tinder so you can make a fire. GrayWolfSurvival.com lists the knife as the #1 most useful thing to carry on yourself every day. Wes Seller writes on Gizmodo.com that he uses his pocket knife for a lot of eating tasks. He goes on to talk about how when he's at restaurants, and instead of using their dull knives, he likes to use his own pocket knife to cut up his steaks and stuff like that. Well, I personally can't say that I would ever get my pocket knife out in a Texas Roadhouse to cut up my meal due to the looks I feel like I might receive from people. But I can tell you from personal experience that there's a number of uses of a pocket knife as far as food preparation, from opening food containers to cutting up an apple for a snack. In closing, I want to tell you why I carry a knife every day and everywhere. If you look in the pockets of every firefighter, police officer, and EMT officer, there's one thing they all have in common. And if you look at the outside of their pockets, you'll see a knife clipped to the outside. These are the people that we depend on every day to help us in the event of an emergency. And if these professionals are carrying a knife on them, why wouldn't I carry one myself? If they're using it to smash open a car's window and cut free a victim from their seatbelt so they can pull them from like a burning car or something like that, flooding car, why not carry one myself in case I ever need saved, find myself in a situation like that, or in case I ever find somebody else in a scenario like that? I'd be able to save myself or somebody else. So For a little review of my speech today, I want to remind you all of the things I spoke about today. I started with the history of a pocket knife, and then I talked about the many different uses and scenarios, from getting lost in the wilderness to building a fire once you get lost and saving people. And lastly, we talked about why I carry a pocket knife every day. One day soon, I hope to become an Indiana State DNR officer, and I hope to continue to carry a pocket knife with me every day, and that is why you should too, because one day you may save somebody else's life or yourself.